Thanks for joining us on Khari Free at Last, exclusively on Bounce23 TV. The National Urban League State of Black America report, One Nation Underemployed, Jobs Rebuild America, says that black income inequality has hammered urban communities. While some jobs have been created, the large majority are low-wage or part-time positions. Most affected by the shortage of full-time, higher-paying positions have been blacks and Latinos. However, it appears that even Latinos are doing better than blacks. According to the report's numbers, 6.5% of whites, 9.1% of Latinos, and 13.1% of African Americans are unemployed. Joining me is TalkTainmentRadio.com host Irv Jallow, the Reverend John Coates, and Donella Martin-Braddix. All right, got it. Reverend Coates, underemployment. We don't hear much talk about that. We hear about unemployment, but let's start with unemployment. Urban League says this is a disaster. Now, you know they're friends with the president, so they're going to word it kindly, but this is a disaster.
Well, in my opinion, Total just went behind the booth and pulled the curtain off the wizard because it's all been exposed now. And what I can't understand, first of all, is how come this Urban League report has not been the headline story on every national news broadcast. And the reason that it hasn't is because of its relationship to the President of the United States.
I thought it was Al Bulldog Sharpton. I'm sorry, Al FBI Mafia Informant Sharpton. Which one?
You know,
I thought it was him that kept it from
You shouldn't talk about emerging organizations in certain cities. Some cities love the National Action Network so much it has two chapters that are forming, but you know,
Columbus, Ohio.
Ohio.
Where one endorses the
I love my
city.
Gotcha. I just didn't want it to be shadowed like that.
But anyway, as we look at this, why is the Urban League so kind in their language toward the president?
I think their language is polite, but the facts are in the actual numbers.
Oh, they're ugly.
Every month, we get an economics report from the White House, from the budget office. We get an economics report every month that gives us unemployment rate. And what this report indicates is that they have been lying and have been deceiving the American people all along.
Not the president.
Yes.
Oh, no. Donella Martin-Braddix, the president, he called the president a lie.
You know what, look, I'm angry and I can't take it anymore.
Angry about what?
The whole system. We have to not only blame the government who is outsourcing our jobs, we have more employees in China than we do here in America.
Good point.
Our students are graduating from college and they can't get work. We not only have that going on, we have the college system, which is $1 billion industry, and we are paying
The president is doing the best job he can. Y'all need to get up off of him. You know, everybody's saying, where's the jobs, Mr. President? Look, he's went over there, he's been talking to Putin, he's been talking to China, he's been talking to Korea, asking them to give us our jobs back.
Okay, well,
also been trying to figure out who the real Ronald McDonald is, Reverend Sharpton. But you know, but that's not even the point. The point is that they have been deceiving us on the numbers. The numbers is that there's full-time employment and then there's part-time.
Then there's seasonal.
And then there's seasonal employment, like those jobs people get wrapping gifts during Christmas or stocking stuff.
But that's a job.
Yes, but they're counting those, knowing that the numbers for those particular jobs will not last. And that's deception.
You guys are just anti-Obamist.
No,
Did I make that up? You know, y'all just opposed to the president, Irv Jallow.
Well, you know, I'm opposed to the fact that the National Urban League's 2014 study says that 12% of African Americans were unemployed compared to 5.8% of whites. That is a huge...
It's not 12, it's 13.1.
Okay, well,
Get the facts right.
5.8. You know,
She's in the neighborhood.
My thing is this.
Just rounded out.
No, it's not rounded out. It's black and white in the report. So my thing is this. You know, how is that affecting the children? You know, how is that affecting the teenagers who don't have a job? And then the crime rate.
But y'all voted for the president.
No?
I don't want to hear this now.
You did?
Wait a minute. Y'all voted for the president. Wait a minute, hold on. You didn't say a word.
Yes, I did.
You saw Michelle. You saw the two little beautiful children running across the White House lawn.
Not I.
And you soaked it up.
I was
you
saying,
too.
I was proclaiming from the mountaintop.
Oh, you what?
Be not deceived. Be not deceived.
Yeah.
But you know,
by symbol over
but black
substance.
women like Earth and Donella went for it.
You know, we can say
Y'all soaked it up.
president, we can say president all day long, but it is big business. We have to remember that the temp to part-time industry is a $43 billion industry
And the
in
president
this country.
can't do nothing about it?
And the thing
The
about
president can't do nothing about it?
the corporations run the government.
corporations run the
Okay,
government.
do you not watch
Absolutely.
Scandal?
Oh, God.
Hello?
And now we can't separate fiction from reality.
That's
Okay,
right, that's
no,
right.
hello. Life
Is that your basis?
Life
Oh,
is
my
stranger
God,
than
please.
fiction.
Yeah,
It's a wake-up call.
But what we need to do is that when we hold the president accountable is how they're reporting the numbers. The White House gives the numbers out, and what I'm saying, the deception is with the false numbers.
Stay
that
right
they give
there.
out.
Stay right there. While President Obama boasts. Up next on Khari, free at last. Welcome back to Khari, free at last. While President Barack Obama boasts that the unemployment rate is the lowest it's been in over 5 years, the rate of underemployment for African Americans is 20.5%, Latinos 18.4%, and whites 11.8%. Good gracious! Joining me is TalkTainmentRadio.com host Earth Jallow, the Reverend John Coates, and Donella Martin-Braddix. All right, now 20.5%. First of all, what does underemployment mean?
Underemployment means that I don't make enough money in order to pay my bills.
What?
That I have a job. I have a job,
Oh.
but yet I'm not being paid enough money to feed my family. So a family of four, if they're
Electric's cut
bringing
off.
in approximately $21,000 a year, they're still under the poverty level. In fact, the current economists say that a family of four, even if they're not receiving any government assistance, that dollar amount of earnings can be as high as $29,000 to $30,000
Good gracious,
a year.
man. Good gracious. What do you want? Look, we're trying to get economy of scale here. We used to play these big union wages, $30 an hour, under half a. Good gracious. Now, guess what we can do? We can split that 7 ways.
Oh,
Now it's supposed to pay $30,000.
Did you just say
we can pay you
as in
folks.
Jimmy Hoffa?
Please don't go there.
Did you date yourself?
He's under the cement. Anyway, now we can pay you $6 an hour. Guess what? We've created 6 more jobs.
No.
My God, what's wrong with that?
Something is wrong with that when you can't feed your family. When you are going to work at
Y'all just want to eat too much.
When you are
eating all this garbage.
Listen, when
That's
you
the
go
reason
to a
why.
9 to 5 and you come home and your electric is off, and not because you don't have a job, but because you're not trying to pay it, but because you have to determine whether or not you're going to feed your children for that
those
month.
children eating? Look at them. Wait a minute. Hold on for a minute here, Reverend.
It's struggle.
Wait a minute. Look at the children. All the children are big.
No, they're not.
All of the mothers.
they're not.
Yes, they are. The mothers are big. So don't tell me about you ain't eating.
Okay, what about gas in the car? Gas in the house?
Exactly.
What about those things?
Every house I walk into is warm.
No, that's not true, because if you're not going down into the hood where the houses are not
there you go
warm.
with that insulting
Come
language.
on now.
Good God.
Poverty is not just about being able to eat. Poverty is about if your car breaks down and you cannot afford to make the payments or to fix it so that you can't go to work. Poverty is about if you can't stay home with your sick child.
If you buy a car that runs $700 a month, and you get into it for 72 months, who you gonna blame for that?
Why would you get a car for that?
You know,
They're not getting cars like
you're letting
that.
stereotypes about the poor really cloud your judgment. And the reality is that the working
give me
poor,
evidence that I'm wrong.
working poor, you know what?
Give me evidence.
Okay, 1 in 4 working Americans earns under $10 an hour.
Source?
And that's according to a Gallup poll, which was done in 2013. It's right in our faces that Americans...
A Gallup poll
That's not a source.
and economic information.
That's a survey.
You can look outside your
And
window
economic
and see.
information.
Let her have her resource.
Maybe the Census Bureau. Okay, but
you can doubt my sources, but you can't doubt reality.
No,
and the reality is that Americans are struggling.
I might doubt the Gallup poll.
You know what? You don't have to trust statistics. You can trust the fact that so many Americans can't even afford to stay home with a sick child because they don't have adequate health insurance.
John, how dare you be insensitive?
And let's not talk about the fact that we have so many children, both Americans, black and white, across the board. 53% of children are living under the poverty line.
Hold on, Donella, hold on. Wait a minute, John, Reverend.
Yes.
How can you be so insensitive? Gee, Moniz us. Wait a minute.
I feel the pain.
Do you?
Do you really?
Wait, listen up,
yes,
children
Bill Clinton.
and Reverend Sharpton.
Yes, Bill.
Let me tell you, look, you mentioned children.
Right.
Okay? Children represent the largest number of poverty.
Yes.
And most helpless
The greater number of impoverished in this country, which is over 46%, are children who have children.
That's right.
So that's females under the age of 18 years of age, okay? We also know that 2 incomes are better than 1.
Absolutely.
So we see that the poverty rate for those that are single are nearly 10% higher than that for those that are married.
So what's your point? Wait a minute, Reverend, what's your point?
My point is that some of the way that we choose to live and the decisions that we make affect the amount of money in our level of success.
I'm gonna give
Earth Jallow, what he's saying, wait a minute, Earth Jallow, what he's saying is that you are doing emotional buying, and then you want to blame everybody else because you go out to these stores, you overexpend, you buy thousands of dollars worth of products during Christmas, during every house, you buy these Nike Air Jordan gym shoes, then you want to come back and raise holy,
Now let me break it down for you because I go and I'm in the midst of it.
Break it up.
Okay, break it up.
Break it up.
So, John, a lot of the poor people are not, Reverend, are not purchasing Jordans. They are not purchasing cars that's costing them $777 a month because they can't afford to. Most of them can't afford to buy decent clothing for their children. A lot of the young people, and I'm gonna give you that, there's a lot of people, a lot of young folks out here who are making the decision to have babies out of wedlock without understanding the ramifications of it in the future.
You know why they make that decision?
Because
their mamas don't have
because
no
we
husbands.
have not
they
been
don't know
taught.
who their daddies are.
Because what now?
Their mothers, because the parents are living the same lifestyle.
Poverty.
Multiple generations.
Poverty.
Multiple generations of single parenting.
Of poverty.
Multiple generations of single parenting.
And when you don't
breeds
get
poverty.
Wait a minute, let him finish. I was trying to figure out what he was saying.
I heard him.
Wait a minute, I didn't hear it.
You heard him.
What the pastor is talking about is true, which accounts for the high numbers of poverty in black families is because it's true. If you have a single parent family, you're going to be less well off than a 2-parent family. If you have babies when you're a teenager and you cannot really get good employment, of course you're going to be more poor than someone who waits.
Wait a minute, how long are we going to continue to use these excuses and make the same mistake? But the president has an obligation to end this underemployment. Does he not?
Yes, he does. But
Right.
we're dealing with a double whammy here. We're dealing with ill decisions that we make, and then Sonia Chan says, let me give you that there is a conspiracy.
Yes, I like poetry, yes. Okay.
No. Remember, she watches, what's Scandal?
Scandal. Okay.
And that's a source. Oh, my God, we're in
absolutely
trouble.
is.
We're in big trouble when scandal or fiction becomes so. But, okay, we're looking at Latinos are suffering from this, whites are suffering, but black folk are way off the chain. Wait a minute, this is supposed to be the first African-American president.
Well, first of all,
wait a minute.
P.T. Barnum said that there's a sucker born every minute.
Hold on, Mr. Red, White. Hold on, Mr. Red, White, and Blue.
Everybody plays the fool sometimes.
Wait a minute. Hold on, Mr. Red, White, and Blue. Just because you got your candy stripes on.
Yes, and how ironic that you look like you're running for office today, and yet you have such disparaging remarks about our politicians.
And you have Sharpton stripes on today. Nikki Giovanni.
And Makuka.
Now, see, I got to get involved.
But anyway, I'm asking you one clear message. You are the president. What do you say to the people who are suffering under 6 years of the Obama president? What do you say?
He ought to tell the people the truth. That he's not controlling it. He ought to tell the people the truth.
Tell you right there. Working while poor, or poor while working. Up next on Khari, Free at Last. Welcome back to Khari, Free at Last. 42% of unemployed African Americans have been jobless for many years, and the jobs some have been able to obtain still keep them working well beneath the required hours and the pay wages to support their families. In other words, they are working while poor, or poor while working. Joining me is TalkTainmentRadio.com host Earth Jallow, the Reverend John Coates, and Donella Martin-Braddix. Beat you to it. You didn't think I was going to get, did I get it right, Reverend Coates?
Almost.
Oh, forget, what was it, Braddix?
Close. Okay. That's close.
Scratchix? What is it?
No T, D with an S.
Well, anyway, it don't matter. It don't matter. Look, working while poor. Poor while working. You know, they just had a conference here in Columbus, Impact, I think it was Impact, right, where they found out that the poverty rate did not decline with the unemployment rate going down. Now, there's only one answer to that.
There's one answer, right.
And that is the jobs that are being created are so low seasonal, and yet the government has the nerve to count this as a job.
Yeah, but they've been counting it as a job. Our country is economically hit.
Are we bankrupt?
Not yet, but it makes me wonder if there is an intention to actually crash the economy. What happens if another economic shoe falls? What happens if the derivatives are actually called in? You know, and what is a derivative? You know,
gambling debt.
We have unexpected doom that we have no idea about what may happen.
Wait a minute. How'd you say that? Say doom again.
Doom.
No. You said doom.
Yes.
Was that dramatic?
Yes, it was.
It was. Wow.
I think
I
think what's for me is troubling, and all you have to do is just be out in public and see it. When you go to the fast food restaurants and whatnot, it used to be the teenagers that would be waiting on you at the window and whatnot. But now you see seniors, and they're supposed to be at home and retired and, you know, helping out with the grandchildren
we were told.
You know?
Remember the Jetsons? Right. Y'all don't remember Jetsons. We were told, that when you get older, society will be like the Jetsons. And look at it now. You got older people taking Mickey D jobs.
Right. And not just older people. There's a 20% increase in people with college graduates who are working as waitresses and working as waiters and working in these jobs that used to be reserved for people who didn't even have a high school diploma. Okay, and nobody's talking about that.
But you've been in the president's corner. We all like the president, but you've been in the president's corner. What do you want to tell the president to do about it?
I want to tell the president that it's scary. It's very scary
when
you have, and what Pastor Coates was talking about, yes, a lot of young black people have made poor decisions which have thrust them or have them
What do you want the president to do about it?
There need to be available options. When you look for a job, you want to be able to get a job that you can actually work your way out of poverty.
Donella, there are available options. $6 an hour over here, $6.50 over here.
Which is nothing.
$5.50 over here. Right. Those are your available options.
Our answer and our solution will not come from President Obama.
No.
Why not?
But where we've been betrayed is by community leadership. Because what we need to do as a community, we need to do what other communities have done.
And
that is, we need to look after our own best interest. If we need to boycott a soft drink manufacturer to say that, look, until you build a factory in our neighborhood, we're not going to drink your soda. We can
with livable wages.
With livable wages. We can bring manufacturing back to the city if we use our power.
But wait a minute, the president has the power to bring manufacturing back to this back to this country. He has the power to do it.
Do you really think so?
Oh, yes, he can issue a tariff. He can raise the tariff or the taxes on the product coming to this country, and it can make it unprofitable for them to do business.
On behalf of those who wield power and influence him. So the president acts on behalf of those who contributes to his campaign.
You saying the president is not my president?
No, it never has been.
And
that's not true.
It never has been.
He's the first African-American president. He's going to look out for us.
Doesn't mean he's your president.
We underestimate the role of big business and big corporations that don't have our best interests at heart. And that's why we're in this situation today. And what we need to do is we need to wake up and realize that even though the poverty rate is scary now, as Pastor Coates said, it's doom. It's getting worse and worse and worse.
Jallow,
yes, sir.
What does it mean working while poor or poor while working? What does this mean?
Working while poor or poor while working means, John, that your electric is turned off when you get off of that part-time job or even that full-time job that you might have that's only paying you $7 an hour. And you struggled and paid last week $50 on it because that's all you had, but this week it's not enough, so they cut you off. Or you don't have any gas, or you don't have any gas for your car. You got to figure out how you're going to feed your children. That is working while poor and poor while working. Another thing, if we are going to get out of this economic disparity that we are in, then we have to look at what we used to do, and that was entrepreneurship and barter and trading with one another. John is right. We have to look out for ourselves. We're not. The president.
How are we going to look out for ourselves?
Well, that's how the underground economy. That's why the underground economy is thriving because people are trying to look out for themselves based on the resources that they have.
Well, actually, that's probably why there are no riots in the street.
That's right.
Because the underground economy is how people are making it.
Right.
But looking at the so-called legal economy, did you know there are more people right now, women, who are more people on food stamps than they are women working full-time in this country?
25%.
Did you know that?
Nearly 25% of Black America is on food stamps, which they don't call food stamps.
More people are on food stamps than there are women working full-time in this country.
Yes.
25% of our community is receiving some type of food stamp or SNAP dollars, I think they call them now. You know, and 11% of our community live in government housing.
And then you have to, they're going to the pantries, the food pantries that the churches are having. They're going to giveaways that the churches are giving out free vegetables. You should see the lines.
If this is such a disaster, why are black folks sitting down accepting this? Why don't we have 5 million? Why isn't Minister Farrakhan and other people leading 5 million to D.C.?
Well, you know,
Reverend,
because the problem is that our people are so asleep right now and so docile. Even if you put forth the call, they're too occupied and too stressed to be able to respond.
Look in that camera and get a call right quick. You got 5 seconds. Get a call.
Do something on behalf of yourself. Organize in your community. Find a church and rally the masses so that we can do something to help ourselves.
That was weak. That was weak.
You know,
that was weak.
Let me get weak. Let me feel my weak. Look.
Underemployment, home loss, foreclosures, savings, no savings. Up next on Khari, free at last.
Weak.
Welcome back to Khari, free at last. Most African Americans face a multiple diagnosis of unemployment, underemployment, home losses and foreclosures, low or no savings in retirement accounts, credit denials, cuts in education, and school funding. On all of this, in the post-racial era of President Barack Obama. Joining us is TalkTainmentRadio.com host Earth Jallow, the Reverend John Coates, and Donella Martin.
Now you done missed the whole thing.
Donella Martin-Braddix.
All right, we're gonna change that. Anyway, now, wait a minute. Earth Jallow, savings loans. Black folk ain't saving no money. Unemployment, we ain't got no money to save.
Exactly.
So how's this far-flung program you talking about, we just turned to ourselves. We ain't got no money.
We don't have any money, but...
Now, the rappers got money.
Well, but they're not sharing it. They're not sharing it. No wealthy...
Or is that false?
No wealthy...
Well, everything in their videos is rented.
Everything is rented, and they have to pay all that back, even the chicken that they eat on break. So, no, they're not... They might have a little money, but they're not wealthy.
So these multiple diagnoses that we're facing, the Urban League report says we're facing underemployment, unemployment, ain't got no money in the bank, no savings, home foreclosures. Good God, Reverend, is there any hope?
You know, can't get no rest, no matter how... Okay, look.
Health problems.
Look. We do have money.
What's our
There's
hope?
30 to 40 million of us in America. We are the 12th to 13th largest economic population
spending $1 trillion
within this country. So we need to redirect the money that we're spending.
What do you recommend, Reverend?
Well, we need to look and see.
Wait a minute. I got one recommendation.
What's that?
No more giving to the church. No more 10%. No more tackles until the church turns around and starts reinvesting heavily, exclusively in the black community. No more $500,000 a year preachers. That's over with.
Many churches are investing into the community. You wouldn't have playgrounds. You wouldn't have community centers. You would not have feeding programs. You would not have food pantries. You would not have additional housing. You would not have senior housing if it wasn't for the church.
Only 1%
and that 1% would be zero if it wasn't for the church.
99% of them are taking money out of the community.
Well, you know, speaking of churches, where is the church when it comes to morality and the decisions that people are making which thrust them into continued poverty? That's my question. If black people are the most religious group in the nation, then why aren't the churches leading for abstinence, sex until marriage, not having illegitimate children, less crime, less violence, and all of the things that affect the poverty in our nations? Where are the churches?
And some churches are doing that, but unfortunately, certain black leaders in the church and outside the church have been co-opted by organizations such as Planned. That's the history reward. Our research tells us that Planned Parenthood and NARAL have co-opted.
We have a church, 2 or 3 on every block
Every
within
corner.
the African American community. And I think that the churches need to get up, get off your pews, get out in the community, find out what the needs are from that community, and get busy. Saving these young people and saving these single women. You want to talk about single women? How dare you? All of us got here through the means of a woman.
And
let's
even
take
better,
care of them.
even better, getting to the women before they become single moms.
Absolutely.
How about that?
Our singleness is a cause of our poverty. So unless every black single woman was raped, and every black single woman was not raped,
she wasn't raped.
we make decisions that we need to think about the consequences of before we do
need
so.
to have the education. We need to have the education from the top that need to be trickled down.
And those women are in the church.
That needs to trickle down to the bottom.
So
and if you are in church as a woman and you are not advocating for abstinence, you are not out in the community talking to these young people, if you are not out mentoring, if you are not out paving, pounding the streets and knocking on doors to find out what the needs are, you're part of the problem.
You know, I'm gonna get me a new Afrocentric missionary. I got me a new Afrocentric missionary member.
Thanks to TalkTaveRadio.com host Irv Jallow, the Reverend John Coates, and Donella Martin-Braddix,
and I love it.
Yeah, and thank you for watching Khari Free at Last.